Corey Vallis on the Regina power play. Throws it in front, they deflect it, score! Braxton Whitehead with his second of the game on a centering pass from Corey Vallis, and 3 consecutive power play goals. Brinson left point, fire stop, rebound in front, they score! Mateo Michaels! Johnny on the spot! Michaels back again at it below the right circle. To the slot, Howe shoots, that was blocked, rebound, scores! Sam Maremba swipes that one into the back of the net. He's got his first of the season. Brady Martin got robbed by Shanson, now a pass down the ice. Temple's got a breakaway, scores! Parker Berg has it. Turns and shoots on a deflection, loose, scores! Zachary Shanson!
Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's October 22nd, it's episode 148. Chris here, Kevin there. How are you tonight, Kev?
Doing okay.
Yeah. Coming off kind of a tough loss in Swift Current. Kind of an ugly, not too exciting game, was it?
It was actually a little more exciting than the one in PA, but
yeah,
just the Pats couldn't buy a goal, and then two of them they
got
scored
disallowed.
Didn't count. So
yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be a quick episode tonight. Three road games, but no interviews. So yeah, just us for a little bit, and talk about those three. Preview, I guess, the upcoming 3 games. Those are all at home. No, 2 at home, 1 on the road. Coming up here.
No, there's 4 home games in a row.
Is it 4 home games in a row?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it is. Okay, I was looking ahead to the week after.
Yeah. No problem.
But all right. I guess we'll start off with Moose Jaw. I guess we talked about three games this week, looking to get a couple wins. Only 1. I think Moose Jaw maybe been the least likely win possible. I was kind of thinking.
I was thinking that one or PA, because for some reason there's just something about PA.
Yeah,
they find ways to beat the Pats.
And Moose Jaw's looked better now that they got their guys back. They got a couple new guys. Yeah. We didn't really talk about the trade that they made, but bringing in a couple guys from Victoria. It was Kalen Parker and
Braden Sherman.
Yeah. To start off that game, man, Moose Jaw owned the Pats in the first 5 minutes. Absolutely dominated them. They scored 4:05 in, and I said, this is going to be a long night.
It felt like it was going to be a long night.
But it was the story of Moose Jaw taking penalties. Like, you look at the score sheet, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalties in a row for Moose Jaw between the first and second periods.
And they're not a team that takes a lot of penalties either. So like it was just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Penalty. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And the Pats
the Pats made them pay.
Yeah. 4 power play goals. Yeah. Every goal they scored was on the power play. And yeah, like that's you get those opportunities, you got to capitalize.
Oh yeah. And they did. 4 for 8 on the power play. That's unbelievable for a team that doesn't have like a Suzdalev or a Svozil or a Bedard. Yeah, the other guys stepped up, and it was nice to see them click.
Yeah, top guys scoring. Spencer Whitehead with 2 and Howe as well. So those guys kind of needed a little bit to get going, and maybe this was it. And I think goaltending, I thought Huey played probably his best game. We talked about that. Probably his best game as a Pat.
I would say so, yeah.
His
definitely
style,
up there.
His style is different. I think you said it. You're like, what'd you say to me? You're like, you're always on the edge when he's playing. He looks,
yeah, because he doesn't seem to be in position. Then all of a sudden he makes the most bizarre,
looking
not
save.
Spectacular save, but yeah, just bizarre. All of a sudden the arm comes out and he knocks it away. It's just There's no legit North American butterfly style there. He's kind of like a
throwback almost.
Early 2000s, late 90s flip-flop type.
Almost a Hasek-esque type thing.
I don't remember his dad that well. Like I watched him play, but I don't remember his style. Maybe he's like his dad, because he's not the biggest goalie. So he's just trying to find ways to make saves, and he's been doing okay.
Yeah.
He's had a couple blips early, but he's been getting better, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about we're trying to have bad second periods, and obviously with the power plays, the Pats had a much better second period in that game. So that's kind of a little bit of a turnaround, but I think that was a little aided to their advantage there.
It was nice though. 8 power plays, and they actually connected on 4. They needed to do that, and they did.
And the penalty kill was 4 for 5. They only gave up 1 power play goal with a potent power play team in Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
So I mean, Moose Jaw had, like I said, 5 power plays. They could have been right back in it too with 2 or 3 power play goals.
Yeah, the players are buying into blocking shots. They're getting in the way of a lot of shots. The penalty kill has been really good lately. So
yeah,
I don't
know if it kind of coincides with the new D-man coming in, and I mean, we talked about Haynes. I think he's really solid back there. Like really,
for sure.
So I think that may be a little correlation there.
Gets in the way of shots and stuff like that. He's a big guy with long reach and stuff, so that helps.
Yeah, and I mean, not to jump ahead, but I mean, the Pats didn't give up a power play goal Friday or Sunday here as well. So they gave up 1 in 3 games. Like that's good. That's really good. That's 5, 7 and 5, 12. So 1 power play goal on 12 opportunities.
Yeah, that's good. They these last 2 games, they limited the number of power plays against too, so that helps.
Yeah, they only gave up 2 power plays in PA, and 5, I guess, against Swift Current. But yeah,
actually 6. They haven't fixed it yet.
Okay,
so
even
6
better.
Power plays against is not limiting number, but it just they seem to counteract when they get a penalty. They seem to hone in and play a better team defensive game. So it's nice to see. Especially after how it started, it was not very good.
Yeah.
Preseason wasn't good. Penalty kill wasn't good in the preseason, but like you said, they shored up the defense a little bit there with Haynes and Brinson. And yeah, it's turning the corner. Hopefully they can keep it up, and then everything else hopefully will fall into place.
Yeah, and you see some new guys, like Jackson Vaughn on the power play now, like he's playing center. I heard an interview with Ken Schneider. They really like him at the center position. They're working on him there. So that's something to keep an eye on. I mean, now, especially, with the loss of Whitehead, other guys are going to have to step up in that role.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if they're going to be able to replace him, though. It's going to be really tough to replace.
Definitely.
Whitehead just finally got going, and now
I know, right?
So sad.
Yeah, I guess anything else from the Moose Jaw game? I mean, Parker Berg, 4 assists, first star.
Yeah, career high in assists.
Yeah,
career high in points. That was good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When Whitehead scored twice.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, Friday's game happened.
Yeah. So if you got, well, I guess we'll jump right into that. Yeah, 50 seconds into the game, he takes a hit in the corner. Now the camera kind of cuts away, so you don't actually see the hit, but you see it starting to happen, and it looks like maybe Whitehead was falling down and the hit was high. And he went down, he got up fairly quick, but you could tell he was in distress.
Yeah, he was definitely in some discomfort, distress.
And then obviously he didn't return to the game. And then they said what on the pregame tonight?
They said it sounded like it's gonna be a long term. They don't expect him back for a while. So
yeah, that's real tough.
And losing him that early in the game, I don't know if it set the tone, so to speak, but it did just kind of losing an important piece like that. You're one of your alternate captains, one of your team leaders on a super hot streak, scoring some goals, getting points, killing penalties, and all of a sudden they lose that.
Yeah, I mean, like he'd already had 7 goals, in 12 games, like point a game already this year. Like he only had 10 goals in the previous 2 seasons, each. So like he was going to easily surpass 10 goals in the next couple of weeks, right? So.
Oh yeah. Who knows? It could have been this weekend.
Yeah, you never know. That's true.
I missed the tear.
So. Yeah, I missed the first period in this one, but I mean the Pats did have a 2-1 lead going to the second period. But from what I saw, like the 2 goals for PA, the first two in the second period, the Kovacs and the Sabri goal, I don't want to say weak goals, but it was tough goals to give up, like just floating point shots. And
yeah,
I mean,
it's unfortunate.
The Kovacs one was kind of floating. The Sabri one was a pretty good shot. Maybe some traffic and stuff.
The one goal, I think the Kovacs goal, looked like it
maybe
looked like
deflected off somebody.
It looked like because Aremba went to block it, and his reaction after it went in, he kind of threw his head back, so maybe it went off his stick.
Yeah, okay.
Just changed direction enough, but yeah, just those long range floaty goals. It's not just the Pats goalies that are letting those in; it's just a lot of goalies. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
they can't stop the long range shots.
Yeah, and so I
don't know if it's screens or if they're just not playing the position, not their positioning.
Yeah, right.
It's just it's weird.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the Pats had much. Obviously not watching that first period, but the second and third, it didn't seem like they had much, and then they get one real late, and then they give up an empty netter, and then they get one Temple with 2 seconds to go.
2 seconds left.
But
that was a nice goal, at least.
It was actually quite nice. Breakaway,
it was
low glove.
Nice to see Aremba get a goal because it took him long enough to score this year.
That's true. That was his first goal.
He just been snake bitten or whatever the deal is, and finally got one, which is nice. Hopefully that'll help his confidence and help him score some more.
Yeah, and I was talking about the Temple goal. That was nice. The breakaway
and
goal.
Temple. Oh yeah, Temple's breakaway goal is pretty.
Yeah, his game, you can see it starting to progress already.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's gonna be good. Like he's 16 and he's doing well already. But yeah, I mean,
and losing Whitehead, it's gonna bump him up the depth chart.
Yeah,
so he's gonna be playing. I'm sure he's been playing a lot more.
I mean, he's already playing in that top six already, which he deserves.
Yeah.
So
but he'll be playing a lot more.
Yeah, but
I don't know about power
center
play so much, but yeah, center looks like they were rotating through again these last two games. So
yeah, I didn't watch much of the Swift Current game. I listened to most of it, but yeah, it's center faceoffs is kind of a bit of an issue. I mean, they did all right in PA, 32-1 to 25 lost.
Yeah.
But Whitehead was one of your better centermen for faceoffs.
Probably the top centerman for the Pats.
What is his? It doesn't even show. It doesn't show the percentage on his stats. The stupid WHL site. But
the revamp did not go well.
No, not at all. It's a little clunky still. But yeah, I mean, a game in PA is always tough. They no matter who they are, PA plays you tough. Yeah,
it's just think about their building. I think it just gets them pumped up and
definitely
all that kind of jazz.
But 1-1 in those first two games, you're thinking, okay, that's fine. Losing Whitehead obviously is real tough.
That's a huge blow.
Yeah,
for a team that is already doesn't have the superstar power, losing you're one of your main guys, your alternate captain, and it sounds like it might be a while that he's out. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting.
Definitely. Yeah. So then you're looking. Case of Current, they're coming off the West Coast road trip. Maybe you can jump on them here, but it seemed like they had a pretty good first period. It sounded like.
Yeah.
Shots were pretty even, but it sounded like, they had some better chances. I think it's Swift Current. Like they didn't have a shot till I don't know mid-period. Like they didn't.
It was around. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but the midway part. Yeah.
So I think it didn't sound like Regina had many top quality scoring chances, but they had the bulk of the play. But
and any chances they did have, Reed Dick saved it. He was on his game today.
Yeah, and in the end, the Pats only had 24 shots, but Swift Current only had 20 themselves. So it wasn't a high shot count game.
The game was really fast.
Was it?
Like okay. It wasn't a quick game, but it went really fast. Like penalty, and it was killed. Penalty, it was killed. It was weird. It was really quick that way, but the game wasn't quick, but it was quick in that regard.
Yeah. And then yes, it seems like they had a solid second period, 12 shots on goal. But they just couldn't score, right? Like nothing until, late in the game. Well, I guess when did that disallowed goal happen? The first one.
I can't even remember now.
They were going to the right. So that would have been the second period.
Second period.
Yeah, so if you didn't see it, who was it? Aremba had the breakaway?
Yeah.
And so I did catch this. I was listening to it, so then I went and watched it because I had it on my phone, and like he didn't really get hauled down, and like I was kind of surprised that they called it a goal because they didn't call a penalty.
Yeah,
right? Like I was like expecting, okay, if they're gonna call a penalty, because watching it live, you're like, was that a hook or not a hook? But
I think he just looks like he might have lost his edge.
Yeah, and he went to the goalie, and then the rebound was there, and Vallis cleans it up. And they call a goal. I'm like, okay. I was kind of leery on
that. How did they call that a goal?
I know, right? Like, I'll take it, but I don't think that should be a goal. I don't know.
Because when I first saw it live, I didn't realize Vallis buried the puck. I thought it might have went in
with Aremba,
but Vallis clearly shot it in after.
Yeah, and I was like, I was thinking, okay, it should be a penalty. Like I was expecting a penalty / okay, there's a goal, right? But then they talked about it and they said no goal, and I'm like, yeah, that is the right call.
Yeah, no goal and no penalty though. That was weird. But.
Well, I don't think there was a penalty there.
Yeah,
I mean, okay. I mean, the officiating, like you said, we talked about this before. We don't, we don't know what is or isn't a penalty these days sometimes, and I wouldn't think that that's a penalty because he didn't really hook him or anything. No. They were just kind of racing for the puck, and he lost his edge. And so,
but the Pats got a penalty shot against him for something similar.
Yeah,
I think the guy might have got a stick on him, but he didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, what was that? That was the Moose Jaw game, like a couple of weeks ago. Last time they were in Moose Jaw, and there was 3 guys chasing him down, and they all kind of whacked their sticks at him, and they got a penalty shot.
Yeah, got the shot off and stuff. But
he still got a shot and everything, and they still gave him a penalty shot. So I don't know.
But it shouldn't have been a goal. Could have been maybe
a penalty.
Maybe a case for a penalty earlier in the breakaway. But when they called that a goal, I was like, how did they call that a goal?
Yeah, but
I guess they gotta call it a goal. They gotta make a decision. They can't just wave their arms and say, whoa, I didn't see it, or I can't make up my mind. They gotta talk to everybody.
See, that's the thing. I don't think many of our listeners watch cricket, but I watch a bit of it, and if there's a close play, the on-field umpire, I think they're called, or referee, whatever, they don't make a decision. They do not make a decision because they couldn't tell. They go right upstairs, and they make the decision. So you look at baseball, or hockey, you go with a call on the field. Well, then you got to overturn that call. So it's got to be indisputable evidence to overturn a call, right? So where cricket, they don't make a call and they let review handle it 100%, right? They make the call. I think cricket's it's probably got the best replay system compared to any North American sports.
And soccer, I guess, is getting that VAR or whatever they call it, and they're getting pretty good with that.
Okay, I'm not familiar with soccer that much, but I watch a little more cricket. But again, sometimes in cricket you got to be looking at 2 different places, right?
Yeah,
where the guy crosses the line and when the ball hits the stumps. So
for sure.
So the they're in the general vicinity, but it's tougher to make a call sometimes. So they just go upstairs right away and they don't make a call. There's no point in guessing at a call, right?
Yeah. And the referee that called it is new to the referee part. So
it was
maybe they weren't familiar with the protocol with calling a goal or no goal.
Yeah, well, they seen the puck go in the net, so they called it a goal, right? And then they went and reviewed it. I mean, they made the right call. They discussed
I don't think they reviewed it. I think they just talked.
Or that's what I meant. They came together and talked. And
well, when you have one of the linesmen, that's actually a part-time ref too.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, so And it took them a while to discuss it. They didn't just say, "Hey, that shouldn't be a goal." They stood there and talked for a couple minutes, and
yeah,
clearly it shouldn't have been a goal.
Yeah,
because you don't crash the goal, you don't knock the goalie into the net, and then someone scores
in the wide open net, basically.
Unless the guy's like pushed in or whatever.
Yeah,
but he clearly wasn't pushed in. Maybe did get a piece of him or whatever to make him lose an edge, or just blew a tire. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Didn't count.
No. And I guess we can go right into the second review in the third period. So
yeah,
this one was called no goal right off the hop. They were pretty adamant about it. So Spencer waves a stick at a puck as maybe a high stick. They didn't show the replay to like say if it was a high stick or not, or like, you know, that ice level view to tell if it was a high stick, but they blew it off. But the Pat's argument was that the current defenseman or defender swung his hand at the puck at the same time. Him and Spencer both swung, and the puck went in the net. So did it go off Spencer's stick, or did the defender bat it into the net? That was the kind of the whole decision. And both teams are arguing the other guy hit it, right? So
yeah,
and they reviewed it.
They reviewed it. Maybe it was a high stick. Maybe it wasn't a high stick. Like, it might have been. It might not have been. But it could be inconclusive because the angle was not good.
Yeah.
The fact that Spencer's like 5'7" or whatever. So if he's got a high stick, he's going to have to stick way up.
Yeah. And
to be legitly obvious. So
yeah,
I don't know if it was or not.
And who knows? It might have even went off his stick. It might have been right off the defender's hand and in.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's a tough call, right?
They still had time though. It wasn't 2 seconds left to tie it, so they had time, and unfortunately, they just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah,
to tie it.
they had good pressure right at the end of the game, but Aremba had a good chance. Howe had a good chance. They just couldn't finish tonight.
But yeah, they had a lot of pressure in the whole third period, but they only had 4 shots.
Really? That's it? 4? Yeah.
Yeah. They were outshot 9-4 in the third. So I don't know if the scorekeeper people weren't taking proper shot totals, or the Pats shots were just going wide or blocked or whatever. But it was just the Pats seemed to dominate the play for much of that period. 4 shots. I don't know. They couldn't buy a goal against Dick, but they didn't really have any super great scoring chances.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it, right?
They had opportunities, but nothing super
grade
fantastic. Yeah, grade A ones.
All right. Well, hopefully, I mean, we've talked about kind of from the beginning, like, where's this team going to get scoring from? And they've proven it. So, I mean, one night off, I mean, as long as it doesn't turn into a pattern, like you score 4 against Moose Jaw, you score 4 against PA, you lose that game, unfortunately, but you still scored 4 goals. And then, I mean, like, they haven't, you know, there hasn't been very many games they've scored 1, right? Like, they had 2 against Moose Jaw the first time, and they had 1 against that one in Saskatoon.
And now losing Whitehead. At least they got Slaney back. Now they got 3 20s on D.
Yeah.
And they lose Whitehead, who had 7 goals.
Yeah, that's tough.
And their next opponent is Saskatoon. Again. And their next opponent after that is Prince George.
Yeah.
And then
they score.
So I don't know what they're going to do, because by the sounds of it, like Whitehead is going to be out for a while. Don't know how long, but it sounds like he's going to be a while. And yeah, you're not going to replace his value at forward with 20 on D. So I don't know what is going to happen. I know they're talking about the next man up, but the next man up is a rookie.
Fills a hole, but doesn't replace Whitehead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You take a guy from the third line, you put him on the second line or the first line or whatever.
Yeah, you move everybody up, but
you move him up, but you can't replace his value to the team.
Yeah.
Because he was starting to break out, and he's a huge part. And now who knows how long he's going to be gone for. Guess we'll have to wait for the weekly report on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it sounded like the way they're talking before the game, it sounds like he's going to be out for a while. I don't know what a while is, but
I guess we'll find out. But yeah, no, PG. Speaking of PG, like they're hot.
They're on fire.
They are scoring lots of goals. What they score on Saturday night? Like 7.
Yeah.
What's Saturday. Yeah, 7-1 over. Kamloops isn't great.
But they scored 7 against Medicine Hat.
And they scored 7 against Medicine Hat today.
Yes. So they score a ton of goals.
Yeah. Like, what do they got here? They've scored 69 goals. That's tops in the league.
Yeah.
They've played 11.
But they've scored 7 or more a few times, so that helps.
Yeah.
They've run the score up a couple times.
But
Probably because they're pretty deep. They got scoring on like 3 different lines, so
yeah,
they're probably not trying to run the score, but they can.
I mean, the next closest team is Portland at 54 goals. They've played 2 less games, but still, that's.
And Portland's a juggernaut too.
They've given up 18 goals in 9
Yes.
games. That's 2 a game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they look a little scary as well.
But yeah, the Pats next 4 at home, but the next 3 are going to be huge tests.
Yeah,
Saskatoon, Prince George, PA, and then Brandon. Brandon's been underachieving, but they could be hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, they should be hungry coming back home and coming to Regina. They
struggled
hungry.
a little bit on the West Coast road trip as well.
Yeah. The 4 goals in the last minute against
they blew
Seattle.
one. Yeah. Oof.
That's
tough.
That's a lot of goals in a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah, you look at Prince George's power play percentage, 41.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is. We got teams. Where's the Pats penalty kill now that they've kind of done quite well? Okay, they're up to 7th now at 80.9%.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say they're close to 81%. So
yeah, moving up, after a good week here on the PK. So that's going to have to be a point of emphasis, especially against Prince George here.
Yeah. But like losing Whitehead and getting another defenseman back, they're going to have to play a lot of defense and hope that some other guys can step up. Like we said, the next man up. I don't know. Is Whitehead replaceable by someone the Pats have, especially if he's gone long term?
Yeah, right.
Is Miller running to the phones and trying to find some more offense? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I know he talks about trying to, obviously with the Feist trade, he recoups some picks. I think that's kind of top of mind for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much he wants to spend this season, right? Like, I mean, the team is doing fairly well. It's not like you don't want to say, no, I'm not going to trade for a guy.
Yeah. Don't want to burn it to the ground, but they want to be able to be competitive.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
so
with the start they have, they've kind of proven that, this team can play with most of this league, right?
Yeah. Yeah, full roster, healthy-ish roster can compete, but losing Whitehead is gonna sting.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, this weekend here alone is going to be a good test.
It's going to be a huge test.
Yeah, 2 of the top teams in the league.
Saskatoon dominated the Pats last time they played.
Yeah,
it was only a 6-1 game, but the Pats maybe had 2 scoring chances the whole game, like legit good scoring chances, and one of them went in.
Yeah, so it wasn't great.
Saskatoon could skate the Pats into the ground when the Pats are healthy. So
yeah, be interesting.
Saskatoon's good.
Yeah.
In Prince George, we don't know that much about them, but they score goals.
They look good.
They score goals.
Yeah.
And the Pats, to their credit, they're not allowing a ton, but Prince George scores a lot of goals, and it could be an interesting weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got anything else? I think we should
Friday
wrap it
night's
up.
the cancer awareness game. They say to watch the Pats social media channels this week to get some details, because it sounds like they're going to be wearing
jerseys
purple
again.
or pink jerseys. I'm not sure what they're going to do, 22 fresh. So
again,
last year they did the purple and black. I'm assuming they'll probably do something similar again this year.
Yeah, like the color on the website is kind of bluish purple, so
yeah,
they're probably
blue,
leaning towards that sort of color.
Yeah, go with the general cancer, not the pink jerseys. They did the pink jerseys for a while, so
yeah, no, I mean,
it'll be interesting.
They did a good job on the jerseys last year. They looked nice.
They were very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I just seen one up for sale on Marketplace.
Oh.
But yeah, no, so it's always exciting. Some new threads.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be a big test for them. A little bit of a not short bench, but it's gonna be tough, I think.
But they've got a few days off to rest up, and like we said, we'll figure out what happened. Well, we'll find out what Whitehead's status this week is, and they have a few days to figure stuff out if they're gonna move somebody or not, or if they're gonna keep the 320s on D. See how long Bridgman's out for, because he's probably getting close to coming back. So
yeah,
they're gonna have to do something on D.
They both were day-to-day, Slaney and Bridgman, here on this past Tuesday. So and Slaney was back for the weekend here, or for Sunday.
Yeah. So
Bridgman, I assume he'd be ready for this coming weekend, another week.
Yeah, because another basically a week off. So
yeah.
So when he comes back, they're gonna probably have to do something on D, because they'll have 8. Because I don't think they want to carry that many D all the way through the year. So
yeah, so that'd be interesting. Maybe I wonder what happens there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you think Bridgman and Kristevanovic are kind of the 7 and 8. Now.
Yeah, well, when Bridgman was playing, he
played a lot.
He was top 4, so he was top 4 many games, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they already made the one move with Plaisir, right? So, because obviously they like Bridgman over Plaisir.
Yeah, for sure.
And even Kristevanovic.
And by the sounds of things, they like to Miller likes to have a short roster. So
okay.
So yeah. Like if Whitehead's gone long term, they'll have a really short forwards. They'll just have 12.
Yeah,
and Mushimansky just came back from his injury, and Rowan just came back from his injury. So I don't know how healthy they are, but they get 5 days or 6 days or whatever to recuperate and see what happens from there.
Yeah, be interesting. So could be some changes this week, but we'll keep an eye out, and we'll let you know what happens on Tuesday. Kevin will remind me. I'll probably be busy at work, but
yeah,
send that out. And yeah, Tuesday could be ugly for work. The snow's coming. People tend to freak out when first snowfall hits.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see what happens this week at work. But yeah, anyways, all right, I guess we'll see you at the rink on Friday if you got nothing else, Kevin.
I think that's it.
All right, well, have a good night, folks.
Have a good one.